So we had an interesting discussion the last time where we talked about predictions back in January. January was sort of, the New Year's there, 2010's coming in, so we got a bunch of people together here and we made predictions on what was going to happen to the social gaming industry. So one of the things we're going to do today is look at how many of those predictions came true and did not come true, and what our experts here think about what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months. I know all of us have been affected by Facebook credits in some way. How is your company, and this is a question for anyone on the panel, whoever wants to go first, is have you been participating in the Facebook credits program, and how has it affected your business?
On Frontierville today, and that actually has Facebook credits integrated as an option. So we're testing Facebook credits, and we're currently investigating to see how it's affecting the business. So nothing to comment right now on statistics, but it is something we're actually actively participating in.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. So, a lot of our Playdom games have different degrees of integration with Facebook credits. And we're testing it right now, working with Facebook to make it better. And so, no comment on the actual data.
Is anybody from Facebook credits team over here? All right. So we started using Facebook credits I'd say about 2 months ago, and we didn't do it in-game currency. We didn't make it premium, and it didn't do as well. But recently we started using Facebook credits for in-game currency, and it's had a better uptake, and it's had more volume of transactions. So that's the best that we can say right now. But in the beginning, it sort of had a 50% dip in revenue. Now it's having sort of a better overall effect.
Well, I guess I jump in from smaller company perspective. We're kind of looking at what other players in the industry are doing with Facebook credits, and to be honest, what we're seeing so far, it's kind of has potential, but there is no triggers, take immediate action, convert everything to credits. So we're looking at bigger guys to get some exciting data.
So the last 6 months have also brought about a lot of platform changes on Facebook. Things have been torn up and down, viral channels have been added or removed. How is that affecting your business?
It's an interesting question. I mean, you guys have all seen the data out there from app data, developer analytics. The industry has changed a bit, just as Facebook's platform has changed, and certainly some viral channels have gone away, and there have been significant changes to the viral channels that remain. But Facebook goes through big changes approximately every 6 months with their platform. And sometimes we all cry and say, hey, wow, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But then lo and behold, the platform's a lot better afterwards. I think what they're optimizing for is the user experience, and in the end, that's what we all want. And so I think what's going to happen is, there may have been a dip in virality. We're going to see that pick back up again. I think Facebook's interested in supporting content, user-created content, developer content, and will, I think, grow with them successfully in the future.
But for our games, we've seen the same sort of traction everybody else has seen in the space. But we have other user-generated content, and I guess since they're lighter touch applications, we've seen that sort of grow tremendously. So I think it depends on what type of application you have and how it touches the user is how your sort of application is going to grow or not. So I think higher retention games, such as the Zynga games and some of the games that we're making, we've seen a little bit of that viral, I guess the spammy stuff that we can't do anymore, sort of taper down. But we've seen other applications grow.
So
can you elaborate why the user generate content so that you will see
I'm assuming that it's the users have more invested in their own applications, that they're going to create their own content. They're going to want to sort of pass it on to their contextually relevant social graph, more so than, let's say, myself to, if I have like a game, we have Garden Life, and then we want to have it out and sort of promote it ourselves. So a user's going to take more investment time to promote their own application. So they'll probably sit there day after day, hitting all the allocations to send to their friends. That's my assumption.
what would be your top 3 predictions?
I think there's going to be significant growth opportunities for international markets. Facebook is growing very rapidly internationally in Asia and other countries. I think those audiences will also consume social games very in the same way that we've seen kind of growth in terms of America. So that's one. 2, I think Facebook platform itself is going to go significant changes, similar to the type of changes that we've seen in the previous 6 months, in terms of policy, in terms of their cooperation with the game channel, how well they support the games, their attitudes towards the communications that their users actually want to communicate with each other and things like that. And thirdly, I think the type of games that we're going to see a lot more really deep games that on Facebook that appeal to maybe traditional hardcore gamers, in addition to the traditional what we think of social gaming. So, good prediction.
I don't like making predictions on Facebook because every single day is sort of something you cannot predict. But I would say like more games might start using Facebook Connect, they might go offsite. I'm pretty excited about how Facebook Connect and credits are going to work out. So my prediction is that we're going to start using Facebook Connect and credits more exclusively.
So I think my 3 predictions. So number 1, I think we are going to see a faster rise in the vertical apps. And what I mean by vertical and horizontal app, horizontal app is something which everybody is playing. My mom, my niece, my granny. So this is a game like Farmville or Restaurant City or Social City. Everybody's playing that. I think when I say vertical app, I mean the apps which are targeting a small niche, small segment. So this will be something like a Bolo or something like a Kingdom of Camelot or something like a FIFA, which is not going to everybody but a smaller audience, which is slightly more passionate about what they are doing. And my argument is, so far we have done a pretty good job with Farmvilles and games like such. Is very, very broad reach, but I think within this broad reach, there are users who are very passionate about what they do. You have reached a lot of 10, 12 years old, and these people they have tasted now what is free to play. In the past, they would go to buy a game, a disc game from Ubisoft or whatever you have it. But now, since they are connected, they are looking for a little more engaged, a little more sophisticated experience, deeper experience on social networks. So I think that's my number 1 prediction. We are going to see more vertical apps in the next 6 to 12 months. Second, I think mobile is going to be pretty big. And my view on mobile is not so much about mobile as a standalone product. I think what we are going to see, the barriers between online and mobile breaking down, which already has been happening. Playdom has done a fabulous job with Social City, taking your game online and optimizing it for what people do on iPhone. And I think that is the kind of thing which I think we are going to see much more in the next 6 to 12 months, conversion between online and mobile. So that's number 2. Number 3, what was I going to say? Number 3, I think definitely outside Facebook, I think we are going to see a very strong growth. But my sense is at this time, Facebook remains a very dominant platform, and the growth we are seeing outside Facebook, it's happening on a very smaller base. So I think next 6 to 12 months at least, Facebook is going to remain a dominant player. But at the same time, I think we are going to see stronger growth outside Facebook for social games. Okay.
So if we were to take an average of all the numbers you guys have thrown out, does 70% sound like fair average? So the last time we did this, the number this group came up with was about 150%. So the average has gone down a little bit since January. It's gone down from 150 to maybe 70, maybe 80%. Yeah.
I think something which is.
But just to add here, is growth in revenues, as far as we can see from the outside, has been under 20% if you look at most developers from January to May this year compared to last year. So it's actually been a lot lower than our bunch of optimists suggested. And you guys are eternal optimists. We love you for that. But just some historical.
I think I was
context.
going to say that the definition of social is changing. I think I talk to investors all the time. It's so funny. Till about a year and a half ago, none of the investors I would talk to, they would care about social gaming. This was a fad. It's going to go away. About 6 months ago, social gaming is over. Why? Because Zynga played and play fish on it. And nobody wants to talk about this again because the game is all done. My view is I think the definition is changing so fast. So far, when we think about social gaming, the first thing that comes to people's mind is Facebook games. My view is that social game is not just Facebook games. I think social is moving outside Facebook in a bigger way.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, for your time. Wonderful panel, and it's always a pleasure having you here. Thank you.